All right, we're live.
Live.
I'm back today.
You are.
Yes. I haven't had a chance to go back. I want to listen to last week, but I didn't have a chance to do that yet.
It was very inspiring for me. I don't know why, but I suddenly had the urge to go do things and get work done for Watch Me Code. And so I put the annual subscription online, which is cool. I've got 2 people on the annual subscription right now.
Cool.
And then I started putting together a bunch of new features for the website regarding a series and then individual episodes. So I now have a pretty nice plugin for WordPress that lets me very quickly configure a series and then tell that series which episodes it contains.
Yeah.
And then each individual episode now has a link back to the series that it's a part of, and then the series has the complete list of episodes that it contains. It's the cross-directional kind of set up so that it's easier for people to get back and forth between the episode and the series. But that also lets me get really close to my end goal of having a video player on screen in the series page so that you can pick individual videos and just watch it right there instead of having to switch to the episode page all the time. Which is pretty slick, pretty nice to have. Egghead.io does this already, and it looks really nice. I want to model mine after the way they did theirs. And I talked to the guy that does this, and I can't remember his full name, but he's like J Hook on Twitter, I think. I talked to him very briefly on Twitter. Nope, not J Hook. I can't remember now. I talked to him yesterday, and he posted a gist on GitHub for me that contains all of their the JSX code that they use to generate that. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, sweet, sweet.
I think I lost my sound again. Dang it.
We can see. We can hear you. Can you not see?
Test, test, test.
I can hear you. Okay.
Episode 5986 of Sound Test. In this episode, Derek unexpectedly loses his sound during an Entreprogrammers podcast. Stay tuned next week when you will hear Josh drop his mic on the floor.
Man, I hate
There we go.
sometimes. It's been freaking out on me with my headphone output, I guess. I don't know. But it constantly likes to drop my sound.
You gotta get off Canary.
And it just did it again. Holy crap,
man.
this is...
I was trying to troll Derek, too, by telling him to get off Canary, because I know he's not on Canary, and he told us how crazy we were for having Chrome issues a while back. There we go.
All right.
You back? Derek, I was just going to troll you by telling you to get off of Canary.
I'm not on Canary.
I know you're not on Canary.
No, I think it's the headphone device that I use. I've got this Astro Gaming headset, and it's got a preamp that I use with it, and the USB connection on the back of that preamp is kind of glitchy at this point. It's like 6 years old. And so every time a piece of paper or something touches the USB connection, it glitches, and then Chrome freaks out and won't pick it up again.
Well, that never happens on a desk, so...
No, never. It hasn't happened 3 times in the last 5 minutes. So,
Nice.
So yeah, I got a lot of work done on Watch Me Code over the last week. I'm pretty close to calling myself Master of WordPress plugin developer at this point.
Nice.
Which not really, but it's been fun learning.
I'm trying to think how we can utilize that.
Yeah, I'm using what is it? The Advanced Custom Fields plugin.
Oh yeah.
I'm using that to mock up the custom fields that I want and make them work, and then I'm taking the configuration from ACF and putting it into my plugin, which of course my plugin relies on ACF to work at this point, but that's fine with me because this is just for my site. But that allows me to do all of my development on my local box using an app called Desktop Server, which is just a really nice wrapper around MAMP, but it makes it a lot easier to deal with. And so I can do all of my development on my local box, commit everything to Git, push the Git repository to my production box, and all of the changes for my custom fields and everything else will get deployed through Git, and it's working really well. It's been really nice having this set up, being able to deploy my WordPress plugin changes and theme changes just by doing a Git push.
Sweet. Yeah, we need to get some kind of development environment set up for Simple Programmer.
Yeah.
Because we've been having trouble. This week we had trouble with Thrive's rich content editor.
Right.
Just was not working. And so, like, my only options were go through and disable plugins one at a time until we figured out which one it was. And it actually wasn't any of the plugins, but I'm like turning plugins off and on and breaking things. And
yeah. So the secret sauce for local WordPress development is a couple of things. Desktop Server, buy the Desktop Server Pro version. It's worth it. And then Migrate DB Pro. Buy the Pro version as well, and use the media extension that it has as well. And then, long story short, on Friday when I had all this inspiration to get things done, I sat down to work on this and realized that my MAMP plugin setup was totally busted, like completely hosed, didn't work at all. And then I remembered that I had recently purchased Desktop Server, so I was like, okay, great. I'm going to spend all frickin' afternoon trying to get this to work when I actually wanted to get some work done on the site. And an hour later, I had a complete copy of my site live and in development on my box.
Oh, nice. Wow.
Just using Desktop Server Pro and Migrate DB Pro worked flawlessly, phenomenally well. It's highly recommended for local development.
Does the DB plugin, what was it, Local DB Pro?
Migrate DB Pro.
That's only the database, I take it. It's not going to pull down the rest of the site.
Right. Well, it'll pull down. There's a plugin for Migrate DB Pro to pull down your media files as well, but it won't pull the physical PHP files.
Yeah.
So the thing you have to do is first make a zip file of your whole site,
right,
and bring that down to your box through SFTP or SSH or whatever, and then unpack that into your installation. Well, I guess first you use Desktop Server to create your local instance, and then you take the zip file off of your server, which is really all you really need from the server is your plugin folder, and your themes folder. So just grab your plugins folder and your themes folder, bring those down to your local development environment after you've created that environment with Desktop Server, and then use Migrate DB Pro to pull down all your database entries, which it'll grab absolutely everything, including all your metadata. Yeah. And then use the media extension for Migrate DB Pro, and it'll pull down all of your images or videos or whatever else you've uploaded to the site.
Okay. So the I take it the DB plugin is that connecting to MySQL then on the remote server and just copying everything?
Indirectly, it's a complete service in and of itself. So when you enable Migrate DB Pro, you tell it on the server accept pull requests, and that will open a specific URL.
Gotcha.
And allow your local server to say, okay, I'm going to reach out to this server with this API key that was provided by the server, so that it can get all the configuration and everything, and then it pulls it all down. And then when you're done with that, then you turn off the allow pull requests. Okay.
John, do you think we need that? Do you think we need local copies, be able to get local copies, or do we mainly want for me, I would be okay for now with just having a copy of the site running somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, we could just have a dev. Like, I have a test.simpleprogrammer.com.
Oh, okay.
But it's not up to date and running properly.
Yeah. Well, the problem is like we need to figure out how to get that to synced up with Simple Programmer.
Migrate DB Pro again. You wouldn't need desktop server in that case. You could just, but you definitely want to use Migrate DB Pro with that images media plugin. That'll keep it in sync.
But you want to sync the plugins directory as well, and
yeah. I mean, actually,
changes live essentially. Like if you make changes to the site.
Yeah,
there's some plugins that kind of do that.
If you're doing things, those sound like awful plugins. Well, I guess not, because like my Restrict Content Pro does that. But if you're doing things in that development box, installing plugins, configuring things, when you go over to your production box, you would install the plugins first, and then migrate your data from the dev box to the production box.
I don't think we, at least not yet. I don't know if we need anything that sophisticated. What I need is like just something that I can, if we're having a problem like we had, I can tinker without, and we're not going to worry that we're breaking a break. Really, just actually copying back from production to dev.
Yeah.
If we always had like the exact same thing between production and dev, that would probably be good enough. Because we're going to do a lot of.
So you can test changes in dev first, and then
we were just hacking on. We had a problem with PrettyLink where I was trying to create a slug, like a PrettyLink, and it was already in use, and we were trying to figure out where it was in use and how to fix it. And I was just watching John typing MySQL queries into the Dropbox, the DigitalOcean console, and like I'm just imagining him hitting enter without the where clause or something, like, and then suddenly every single post on our site has the same URL.
I'd have to enter and a semicolon though.
Okay, all right. Well, that's cool. But yeah. So it would be nice to not have to worry about that.
Yeah, I originally had that done. I was doing it. I mean, WordPress is really simple at its core. All it is a database with really 5 tables. The plugins will put more tables and stuff, and then it's a file structure. It's just it's WP content, WP plugins, and WP themes are really the only unique stuff. And then one configuration file, WP config.php, that's in the root of that has your database password.
Yeah.
I mean, we might just be able to do a simple script that just copies all that stuff. Copies it over to the test environment every 30 minutes or something.
Yeah, I've moved sites so many times that it's like, if you move a site, all you do is you just go to the database, get a dump of that table or of that database, and then you zip up the entire WP, your entire site essentially. You unzip it to the new place. You go into the database. You import from that dump, and then you change the site name in the.
See, that's the thing that Migrate DB Pro is worth its weight in gold. It handles all of those changes for you.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to go in and manually update the database and figure out which pieces you need to update when. You create a configuration that says, when I pull from this server, you do these things and replace it with those things, and then you save that profile and just one click every time after that.
It's nice because then the site name and URL doesn't change.
At Trackabout, oh my gosh, the process of pulling down a customer database and installing it locally was like a good 3-4 hours easily, and it was never completely right because there were probably 100 steps, and we only did the top 13 of them that we needed to whatever it was that we were working on to work, and then you had this database that was half valid and half invalid, and you never knew. Oh gosh, they actually Matt Witham, before I left, they actually got that all automated with Chef.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a huge win.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should probably set something up or get that test running again.
I'm gonna make a Trello card for that.
There was a plugin too that I think that like it replicates the site essentially, and that's
Yeah.
we really only need to go one direction. We just need to go to test because you can
Yep.
just manually make the changes in the.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah. Exactly.
That's basically what I do. So like when I'm converting what are now blog posts into my episode from my plugin, but what I'm doing is I'll do the development on my local box, make sure the code works, push that up to production, and then I'll do all of the live migration of blog post to episode on the live box. And once I have a big chunk of it done, I'll do another migration from production back down to my local box. And that way I can keep working locally to fix code, add new features, all that kind of stuff. So I really just do, from a data perspective, I do it one way from production down to development. Yeah. But then I push my code changes from development up to production.
Mm-hmm.
You could probably hack on that Thrive plugin for us and get it so that it actually will work. The groups, the lead groups. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
What I want is for them. I really want them to add, and I don't think they're going to do this. I really want them to add the the ability to add tags to the Drip API integration. They basically just want what Thrive. What I've seen in their support forum is they just want every API connections they have to work exactly the same.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much just like, select the list that you want it to go to, done.
Yeah.
And Drip has more features like the single opt-in, double opt-in thing, and the tagging, and they really should support that, but I don't think they're going to.
I wonder if there's a way to. There's some services that are like intermediaries for APIs. So.
That's interesting.
Or if you could like have their API call go out to, or I mean, you could even set up your own, right? If you're so inclined, so that it doesn't go to Drip, it goes to another server, and then there you have some configuration in there.
Yeah, like if you can have a different API key, like a different API key per tag, essentially. It's kind of a pain, but it would be. Because I mean the forms. Just using different Drip forms works too, but it is a pain to have 20 different forms if you want to have different tags applied.
Yeah.
So how are you using the tags? What are you doing with those from Thrive?
Oh wait, there we go. Let's do this on the Drip side. Let's get Rob to do this. So the API key that's used.
Man, my Chrome just crashed for me. Hang on.
Oh.
All right.
I was going to say, we could get Rob to do this, right? So the API key for Drip, you could just make it so that it has appended on the end of it the tag that you want, and then Drip could just unpack that and put the tag in.
Oh man,
so you just
poor Rob.
Data right into the
poor
API.
Rob. We're going to make Rob hack. I don't want poor Rob to have to hack. Destroy Drip because of the incompetencies of.
It's a good solution though, because then it works with anything, right? Because if they control it on their end, if Drip just says, okay, when you connect with us with an API key, if in addition to your API key you put a pound and then tags, however many you want, then when we pull anything from there, we'll unpack that and tag those.
That's interesting. So we'd have to see if Thrive, for that to work, Thrive would have to allow you to add multiple connections for Drip, and then which they probably would.
I don't know.
You have to select. Yeah, I don't know. We'd have to look.
There's some other data to pass. I guess when you do the Drip connection, it's just seamless, right? There's nothing that you can customize in the actual form.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but.
It's not a huge.
Oh, and the other thing that Thrive won't do is so they you can't control like if you put a first name field, you can't control. They use Thrive _first _name as the name of the field. So now you've got first name in two different fields. Like so in Drip, if you want to use if you want to like use the first name in the email, now you have to you check for first name or Thrive first name, and then fallback. Like it just it's pretty kludgy.
The form integration is just a better way to go, I think. I don't know, because then you can just customize it however you want. You can just you can throw in tags, you can change the fields, you can do whatever you want. So you can throw in hidden fields.
Yeah, for what you guys are doing, it probably is the best way to go.
Yeah.
I'm just using the default Thrive integration, and it does what I need, so I don't really care.
But rotating lead magnets would be awesome. Because then they will maybe you're a vegetarian, maybe you'd like this 12 ways to cook carrots instead of
Well, I don't know. If you're a vegetarian and the first thing you see is 12 ways to cook beef, you're probably out of there anyway. But but yeah, no. What I really want from Thrive is to be able to set up a succession of welcome gates or welcome mats, so that they see the first time they see email course A, the second time they see email course B, the third time they see email course C, so that we can offer multiple things and rotate. And there's no way to do that right now. And they said, well, you could do an A/B test, but that kind of sucks, because that will only get. There's actually a decent chance that the same person gets the same offer twice, like a 50-50 chance, basically. So, I don't. It's just it's not a good solution.
It's no good.
Yeah, no.
So, I mean, you could. Yeah, no, but I was gonna say you could rotate them per day or something. But then the problem is like you want people to have multiple page views at one time, because the thing is like when you're talking about capturing traffic, it's you want to capture traffic for people that wouldn't come back to the site. That's you want to capture their email addresses. So
have you seen the smart links thing?
Yeah.
So the video that they have for the smart links shows how how you can have like a widget area, and it'll show your Thrive sign up form. But then once you're subscribed, that goes away with the smart link, and you can have other normal content there.
But you have to have a smart link, so that means that person already has to be subscribed or already has to have...
that's useful for links coming from your email list.
Oh, yeah, right. Which is what I'm using it for.
Yeah.
Another option would be to make it, like to achieve what we're doing, what we want to do, Josh, is to have it so, and this would be good on a rotation, but to have the welcome mat, for example, be one offer, and then the slide-in be a different kind of offer.
Yeah, I was thinking that we might have to do that. And I think the lead groups, like we're pretty much only just going to be able to use one lead group.
One lead group. That's what's screwing me up right now, is because I want to do exactly what you just said, John, but I want to do it in different lead groups because I need to focus on different pages.
Yeah.
So I have to set up exclusions that I don't really want to set up in order to make that work.
Yeah.
I mean, the lead groups should work if you have multiple lead groups, but they're like, I think it should be a fall through.
It should be like, okay, it should be how it should work is like this. Okay, do we want to display a welcome gate on this page? Okay, well, what's the first lead group that has a welcome page or a welcome gate in it, right? Show that. Then they dismiss that. Now, is there a slide in that's set to show for this page in any lead group? Okay, we'll show that so that you can have like fall through.
I wish it worked that way, but once the first lead group takes over that page, that's the only lead group that shows the page
for that page. But you could have multiple lead groups active that have different exclusions or inclusions, so that.
Right, but if we were going to do that, if I'm going to do that, I want to be able to reuse my forms between.
Yeah,
I don't want to have to recreate the form in each one.
Yep, exactly.
What would be good, like if you're designing this from the beginning, like knowing that you're using Thrive and knowing that you're doing this, would be like if you're creating a new blog, is to say, here's the 5 categories of content that we're going to produce on this blog, right? And then for those 5 categories of content, you'd have a different lead group for each one, and it'd be for that specific category.
Yep.
And then to create content upgrades to drill down to an even more specific. So the idea would be that you've got and then maybe you'd have one that's like just your general, like nothing fits into this category.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we need to get there with Simple Programmer, John, like reorganize the content into some top-level categories like that. And
I use categories like tags, so I'm kind of screwed. Because I've got like 50 categories.
Nice.
Yeah, I did the same thing, categories as tags, but...
John, can you move your mic more in front of you?
Well, you can have dark or you can have sound.
Dark or sound.
Light or sound, we have. What a choice.
Yeah. Is that better?
Yeah,
that's better.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out. I'm kind of wanting to jump ahead and be like, what is the next lead magnet thing? Besides scroll mat, what is the? I almost want to dissect it and figure out, what unique thing could we do, but I don't know.
Yeah, I feel you on that one because I still get people. Oh man, you got those giant ugly pop-ups, but they're still effective. I keep thinking somewhere out there somebody has the next big thing in their brain that is going to be as effective as these giant scroll mats, but also not intrusive like the giant scroll mats. I have no idea what it is or how it would work because it's completely foreign to me.
So there's an idea. So here's there is one thing that sort of tracks people without getting their email address, which is the pixel, right? The retargeting pixels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So one potential thing that you could do is you could get rid of all pop-ups, right? And scroll mats and all that. Still show lead magnets in the content or in page, and and maybe even a slide over. That's a slide in, so that no one is really offended by any of that stuff for the most part. That's very very small percentage. And then you could pixel everyone, and then you could basically the stuff that you would be doing the pop-ups, you could be trying to get them through that, and you'd have multiple chances because you could keep on using Facebook advertising or something to essentially give them the lead.
I don't think that would work in my case though, because the value of my pop-up is to have my content delivered to your inbox.
You can still do that, right? You can.
But if you're sitting on Facebook reading about your friends and family having a baby and shooting each other in the foot, and then you see a Facebook ad for join Derek Bailey's mailing list, where's the connection? Where's the?
You'd have to lead in with a story or something that would grab their interest, and then you'd have another chance to bring them back to the
site. Is my blog.
Or you're just bringing them back to the site, right? And then they're getting another chance to see the slide in, right? Instead of pop over. Or the exit intent ones,
The problem with that is it gets very expensive.
It does.
I haven't seen, so far with Facebook ads, I haven't seen less than 50 cents a click before I got banned. Whether it's to get people to my website or whether I was retargeting or whatever, it was pretty expensive. And if you can't, you got to send, if you're paying 50 cents a click, you got to send somebody to a page that converts at 50% or 25%.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it balloons really fast, and you're paying $5 to $10 per subscriber, which in Derek's case wouldn't be worth it because you've got to only 3% of those people are going to actually turn into subscribers for Watch Me Code, so you've got multiple steps, and if you're paying a lot up front, then you're going to end up paying $100 or something just to get a new Watch Me Code subscriber.
To get a subscriber that will average $70.
Yeah. That's why if you look at Neil Patel's strategy, anytime you want to look at what is probably the most effective thing to do in the world, probably Neil Patel is probably the best thing. So if you go to what's it, ThinkSprout or Growth ThinkSprout?
QuickSprout.
QuickSprout, right?
Yeah.
If you go there, the very first thing he does for anyone is it's a popover, right? It's the light box,
Yeah.
and it's like me on Facebook. And
No, it's enter your email address for me.
what?
Yeah, he had that. I saw the Facebook one for a while.
It might be if you click on any of his links. Hold on. Think Sprout. It's Quick Sprout. Quick Sprout.
Oh no, it's enter your URL.
Oh, if you go to any post of his,
Okay.
like a link to a post of his, then it should be.
Okay, so he's. Yeah, the main website, the enter your URL, is to get access to your Google Analytics, so he can give you tips.
But anyway, anytime I ever click on any of his posts, like from email, and maybe he's just targeting the email, I don't know, but it seems like it makes a lot of sense to, like, if you're saying, he's obviously making the choice saying, well, if you like me on Facebook, then I've captured you, essentially. Not as good as capturing your email address, but I can still market to you, and I might be able to freely market to you because of just the reach, but I could also pay and guarantee market to you. So I think that's why he's making.
You have to have a model. You have to have a back-end business model that generates enough revenue for that to work.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So, and I'm sure with QuickSprout, like he has a SaaS app, I think, right? So he's got, he probably has a pretty decent LTV on his customers with that.
There's only a certain percentage too. I mean, if you could capture 100% of the email addresses of people that visit your site, yes, you would do more sales and you'd make more business than you would if you're capturing 5 or 10%. But there's a diminishing returns. Like and I don't know where it is, but it's probably somewhere close to 20 or 30% where it really starts to drop off because those people are just not going to buy. It doesn't matter if you have their email address; they're just going to unsubscribe. They're not going to buy. So it's
I think you're getting what you get with the typical, 3% opt-in rate. You get the most engaged people on that particular angle that you've taken with your lead magnet. So you could get another 3% if you had a different lead magnet.
Yeah.
You'd get that you get the most engaged people that had a slightly different set of interests. Mm-hmm. And that all probably, you're right, it probably adds up to like 20 to 30% total of the people that visit your site could be potentially be a customer long term. I was poking around the site, the analytics this week, and I noticed I was shocked. Like 85% of the traffic leaves in less than 10 seconds. Like I knew it was bad, but I was pretty surprised that it was that high.
And I think a large portion of it is due to the scroll mat or pop over. I think if
we could turn it. It would be interesting.
Oh.
Josh froze.
There's a glitch in the matrix.
No audio. Come on, Josh.
Bonus episode of Podcasting Problems. Yes. Audio.
This week in Podcasting Problems. But for all the complaints that we had about Thrive a few minutes ago, I'm loving it. It's
awesome.
It's been pretty awesome. I've got several different things going. I've got a post footer, a screen filler light box.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you go. Okay, great. A homepage ribbon bar as well, and the most effective thing is by far the screen filler light box, and I've got a 2.8% conversion rate, 2.88% conversion rate on that.
Nice,
right now,
that's really good.
Which is pretty dang nice for a generic screen filler light box.
Yeah, that's really good.
It's not targeted to specific content or anything. I've got a setup for my mastering JavaScript this slide in, which I need to get my display rules configured appropriately to show that. Part of my problem, however, is which category is focused enough for just that one slide in without destroying the ability for my screen filler light box to do its job, because it's doing it really well. Because I can't pick the JavaScript category because that's like literally every blog post.
Yeah.
Hey John, I just checked. I looked at my deskhacks.com, which does not have any. That doesn't have any opt-ins really on it. Yeah. It's got the drip slide up, and that's it. And that is 75% of people leave in less than 10 seconds. That's just what you get. That's just what you get.
That's the bounce rate, right? Is that your?
That's just like total session length is less than 0 to 10 seconds. 75% of people are gone in less than 10 seconds, and that's just. I think honestly it would be higher, but most of the people that are coming to the site are finding the post through Lifehacker, so they already are kind of pre-qualified. So that 85% that we're seeing on Simple Programmer is probably pretty normal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just what you get with organic traffic. It's just like most of the people that come there don't really want what you have, or they're just not that interested.
That's true. So
that's basically like 15% of the traffic is what you're working with.
Yeah, and how many? So when you think about how many people actually read your posts, it's a very, very small.
Yeah, exactly.
What traffic.
Yep. Yeah, so if you're getting, like we're getting around 1.5% conversion right now on email signups, so that's actually 10% of the people that stick. Like if you look at it, the 15% of people that stick around.
Yeah.
The 1.5% overall is probably like 10% of those people are opting in.
Yeah.
So that's actually pretty amazing.
I wonder if you can optimize for the 85% that don't stick around somehow, like to be able to get them. Punish them.
Yeah. What we need is we need to cookie them so that we can identify their IP address and send someone to their house.
I was thinking to keep them somehow more engaged, or to make your best possible offer when they first come to the page, of something that they.
I think a lot of them are just finding it by accident. They're searching for something. They don't really read the description carefully, and they're like, "Oh, okay, this isn't what I wanted at all." I was looking for C-section information, not C++ information.
So we should just show them boobies then. Because they'll be like, "Oh, wait a minute." Okay, and then it'll be like 1 minute average time for. This wasn't what I was looking for, but I'll just stay here for a while.
Nice. Well, now we're completely derailed.
Yes, 100%.
When all else fails.
So what else is going on?
I'm moving. I'm packing everything up. It's fun.
Yeah.
I'm doing full service moving this time because I'm sick of moving.
How full service is that? Do they take pictures off your walls and pack up your books? And well, you don't have any books, but.
Yep. Come pack. Bring boxes. Pack my stuff. Put it on a truck.
Take all the light bulbs out of your light fixtures.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do have LED lights. I guess I'll leave them for the. I'm going to upgrade to the new LED lights. I've been replacing all the lights in my house with LED lights. As soon as one burns out, it goes.
So do I.
How are you guys liking them?
Oh, I'm loving them.
Yeah, the technology is fine now. It's better than regular lights.
What's the cost?
They're getting cheap these days. When I first bought LED lights 4 or 5 years ago, they were like $30 to $40 per light. It was ridiculous. But I was burning through CFL lights so quickly that it wasn't really a price difference for me. At this point, I'm paying an average of about $9 per light.
Oh wow!
And they're significantly better than they were when I bought that $40 one. That $40 one that I have in my bathroom still, it takes 30 to 40 seconds for it to really get to full brightness.
Yeah.
Okay. And the new ones are just instant on.
Nice. Well, I replaced so I had fluorescent lights in the bathroom that were burning out about every 6 to 8 weeks, and it was like I would get so angry because it would I'd go in and what would happen is the light would come on and then it would be like half on, half off, and it would be like the Twilight Zone. And I was buying the boxes. I was buying like a dozen bulbs at a time from Amazon. And
it has to be some voltage problem.
Yes, it was. Turns out that there's T1 and T2 lights.
Yeah.
And the previous owners were complete idiots, and they did everything wrong in this house. I just want to, if I ever find them again, I will pummel them. But they had the wrong bulb in when we moved in, so I just used the same thing they were using when it burned out, and didn't realize that that I was setting myself up for this. So yeah, I was using the T2, I think, and the T1, and it was just frying them every 2 months.
Yeah.
So I finally realized that, but it was only after I had already shelled out $40 for LED fluorescent tubes and installed them, which involved removing the ballast, so I can't really go back.
Yeah.
But they take about a half second to come on. Yeah. There's like a little hesitation after I flip the switch, but other than that, I've been happy with them.
Yeah.
So
I've got mostly LED lights around my house at this point. I still have a few of the original bulbs when we bought the house 10 years ago, but I don't think I have more than 1 or 2 CFL lights left, if any, at this point. But I was seriously going through CFL lights like a whole house worth of them every 6 months.
That made me really mad because it's such a lie. They show you, over 7 years, you're going to save all this money, but they don't last
for 6 months.
Yeah, they don't last any. They don't last even as long as the incandescents. So
no, they do if you follow the directions.
If you have a perfectly regulated electrical system in your house.
Yeah. If you're
you never turn them off. Yeah.
Exactly. You should let them stay on for enough time. Don't flip them on and off.
Don't use them like the normal person uses lights. Well, then you're using more electricity too.
Exactly.
So I'll have to look into that because I go through a lot of. We're still using incandescents, and I go through a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my house has electrical problems as well. It's either under or over. I'm not sure which. I haven't really checked it, but that's a big reason why I was going through CFL so much. And LEDs prevent that problem because they convert from AC into DC to power the LEDs.
Oh, okay.
And the process of doing that, they buffer the electrical current in order to convert it. So it handles. Hot. Yeah, they do get hot.
They just burn your house down if you have if you're sending too much voltage.
Yeah.
Instead of burning out. But no, if I'm probably in my new house when I buy LEDs, I'm probably going to buy the ones I haven't decided. One of the home automation ones that are able to be remote controlled.
Oh yeah.
As well at this point, those have come down quite a bit. They're like $15 or $20 now each. So.
Yep, that would be sweet. Especially if you could set them to. I guess if they're automation, you could set them to come on at certain times and stuff. That would be cool. To come down to my office in the morning and have all the lights on.
I'm gonna automate my whole house at this point.
Richard Campbell has gone. Apparently, when I was still listening to .NET Rocks, he had done all kinds of crazy stuff.
So, but yeah, full service move this time. It's not expensive. It's only going to cost me like $3,500, I think, because I'm basically not moving much stuff. Like we're getting rid of. We're just Craigslisting a bunch of stuff, and we don't have a lot of stuff, obviously.
Do they calculate? I imagine they calculate a lot. That there's a big difference in terms of the distance you're moving, right?
Yeah. Yep. It's weight and distance is really the biggest factors.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Because next time we move, it's going to be probably a short distance, and we're probably going to build a house eventually in the next maybe 3 years or so. And it would be nice, like if we're only moving a few miles, I wonder what what the full service move would cost.
It's probably not bad. I mean, if I were only moving a few miles, what I would do if I were you is just hire people separately to pack your stuff.
Okay.
Just at an hourly rate.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure you can find that on Craigslist or Packers or even call talk to moving company and just get them to do some off hours work. Find those people that work for moving companies. Even look on LinkedIn.
Okay. Yeah.
How would you like to make a few bucks? Because then they get the full amount, right? It's like
right.
If you just went on LinkedIn and found people that work for moving companies that are doing that are expert packers, and you just said, hey, how would you like to make some money? You could probably get them cheap, and then just a town-to-town mover, just a truck,
Yeah.
Mover that.
Okay.
You want someone to grab furniture.
We did last time. We moved. Our townhouse that we owned was literally just two blocks away from where we live now.
Yeah.
So we moved in the same neighborhood, and I forget, that was only $500, but we just had them do the furniture. But next time it would be really nice to just, because it's such a, when you do it yourself, it ends up becoming a month-long thing.
Exactly. As you
and
pack
I think
this room is half packed. Yeah, all that crap.
Yeah, versus if you've got the whole team of people that just sort of descend on your house and do it all in one day.
Exactly.
Then it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, my plan was this time to spend more time selling stuff and getting rid of as much stuff as possible. Plus, I have a very short time window, so I'd rather do that than spend time packing and worrying about that. So,
yeah,
so that's the plan. I'm also shipping the car instead of driving this time.
Okay.
That's only it's about $1,000 to ship an auto all the way across the country. So that's well worth it, because if you drive, well, I mean, gas is cheap now, but hotels and all that stuff, and the time, and the labor. I mean, driving is pointless labor, right? It's how many hours are you going to spend sitting there able to do nothing?
Yeah.
So
you could record YouTube videos. Think of how much backlog you could work through in 36 hours of driving.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, when I flew out to California, I couldn't believe how much desert there was. I was just looking down, and I was seeing these roads stretching through the endless desert, and I was I could not even imagine how could people even get all the way across that without running out of gas? It was crazy.
There's a few stretches where there's 100 miles no services and stuff like that, but yeah, I've driven across this country so many damn times. I'm not doing it again.
How long does it take from Florida to California?
To drive there?
Yeah.
About, 5 days at a okay pace.
Oh my goodness.
Or you could do 4 if you're
insane.
If you're gung ho. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
One time I did drive from New Jersey to Florida in 1 day, in 20 straight hours of driving. But so you could technically, it's about twice the distance to California, so you could technically do it in 2 days. If you shift drive, you could do it in 2 days.
Okay.
If you're driving the whole time. So, yeah.
It's pretty awful.
But no, I'm not doing that again. So that's I've been figuring out all the logistics for that, and I guess I'm flying out on March 14th. And then I'll be waiting for movers to show up with a truck. Hopefully the property actually closes and all that stuff. We got our house sold in less than a week here, so that was good. But then hopefully by the end of March I'll be settled down and can actually get to work every day, do some real work.
Yeah, that'll be fun. The time shift is going to be weird. That's actually been nice for us to be on the same schedule. But
oh yeah, I forgot we're on the same schedule.
Yeah.
This morning I was thinking that you were 3 hours ahead, and you're not anymore. We're on the same schedule. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yep, not for long. Yeah, somehow all of the clients I've worked with, for the most part, most of them have been in California. So I met two of my. Derek, can you hear us? You're like.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
RabbitMQ is crashing on me.
Oh, that's all right.
On Watch Me Code production, so I'm trying to fix it while you guys are talking.
Yeah, but yeah, I met two of my clients out there at Traffic and Conversion because they're both basically right there. So now John will be out there too. Yeah. Oh, John, by the way, so when I was flying out of San Diego, the plane circled back over the city, and I saw a compound like what you were describing the other week. Have you seen? Did you just come up with that? Because there is a circular. It looks like it's like a huge circle, and inside the middle there's a courtyard.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was residential, so you might just be able to buy that.
Yeah.
You're all set. So.
And you're also protected for zombie apocalypse as well because those buildings make great walls. So.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it was like a little castle. It was pretty cool.
Huh. Okay.
Yep. So it's right there. It'll probably cost about $2.5 billion in San Diego real estate prices.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been fun trying to get all this stuff done so quickly. But I think I've pretty much got a handle on it. Like we're just selling a few things on Craigslist, but trying to think of what else I need to do. I'm always trying to figure out what I need to do, but I think
your mailing address stuff will be easy to deal with because you've had that handled for a while.
Exactly. Yeah, we still get a few pieces of mail. We also have to put in an address change, but it's nice having a virtual mailbox.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's been fun having you around this week.
Yeah. You're kicking butt. You're getting a lot of stuff done. It's cool to having. I think it's cool also. That's the other thing that we didn't talk about. Is Simple Programmer now has Slack.
Yeah.
But it's actually working out good because now we have a big enough size team where it makes sense to have Slack. Whereas if it's just two people, it's silly to have Slack. It's just retarded. Like.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Like, just talk over Skype. But having at least a third person, and possibly a fourth person makes it. Now it suddenly becomes worth the overhead. So.
Yeah, and pretty much we can't. Email's just not going to cut it. So.
Yeah.
And it's less like for a while there I was going crazy because I had one client who would only talk to me via Voxer. Client somebody who would only talk to me through Skype, a couple people that would use email, and then somebody else who was on Slack, and it was just I had like 6 different chat apps that I was having to switch back and forth between. And the worst ones are the ones that are only on mobile.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like Voxer, I think is pretty much just mobile and.
But yeah, that's working out. Rodrigo is really doing pretty awesome too. I think he seems to be responsive, and he's picked up all the tasks, that Andrew was doing, and he's doing a good job. So I think that's good. It might actually end up being less. Might end up costing less overall. It should cost less overall, having Rodrigo do his stuff. So
yeah, you know what we're gonna need to figure out. So I'm going through the E-Myth. We're gonna need to not turn Rodrigo into our, our superstar that just does everything.
Well, I've asked him to start documenting everything in the wiki and to make it as detailed as possible. I told him that the goal is, and I'll see what he's updated in there, but the goal is that if he's sick or we need to split out tasks or reassign tasks, that anyone should be able to pick up the stuff and do it.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully he gets. We'll have to at some point, me and you review the wiki and see if we have enough details in there, and then go and ask him to put more details. So.
Yeah. So one thing I've been thinking about with the E-Myth stuff. Do you, at what point do you think we should actually do the exercise where we go through, do the org chart thing? Like he basically wants you as a solo entrepreneur to build an org chart
and assign
reflects what you're, and assign yourself to all of the different roles, and then start, define the roles really carefully, and then you can start filling the slots. Like we probably want to do that at some point, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's been on my wish list of things to do actually, and I think it would be beneficial. I think what you do with that is, I mean, at this point, our business model is becoming more defined. I think we still have a little bit up in the air, but even at this point, we could define different roles. Like we know that we have a YouTube person, right? And you can even bring it down further, and you can have a YouTube content producer, YouTube editor, YouTube optimizer and scheduler, channel manager, right? So obviously when you have a smaller organization, that's all one person. The same thing with content management. Like you can have, the editor, the writer, the copy editor, So
one thing I was listening to it this morning, and I wasn't completely buying some of the stuff he was saying, because the goal of systematizing everything can only take you so far. Like, you can't have somebody who is going to do headlines and copy needs to be a copywriter. Like, you can't make a system for that would allow anyone to step into that role.
Yeah, you can't make a system for anyone to step into that role necessarily.
Which is kind of what he's... Like, I think in a lot of businesses you could, and like probably most businesses you could do that, but there's certain specific, like, skill-specific roles that you can't. I guess, like, if you had a machine shop or something, right, you need somebody that knows how to weld.
Well, yeah, so
you can't write an operations manual that teaches that skill.
So after you read this book, follow up with Built to Sell.
Okay.
Because Built to Sell is almost the same thing, except that he's taking a fictional. It's a different person, but he's taking a fictional advertising agency.
Oh, okay.
And turning them into an automated, sellable business, essentially.
Okay.
And what he's doing in that case is he's turning them from like a general purpose advertising agency into an advertising agency that specializes in logo creation. And they have a patented, 4-step process, and then they have specific roles, and then obviously you have creatives. I mean, it's creative people designing these things, but it's still systematized to the point like they have a workflow and they know exactly what they're supposed to do and exactly the skill set that they're hiring for. And that's the thing I think that's where it fits in. It's like you can't. Like for jobs, even a skilled one, you can have a process. Like even a copywriter writing headlines, you can say, this is how we do headlines here. We come up with 50 first, and then we select from those. And it's still but those, you have people that are doing that are defining that process, and then just making it uniform throughout so that you get a consistent result, and then you can also hire for that. So I think you're never going to for example, like one of those kind of fuzzy tasks in Simple Programmer has been answering the emails. And for Andrew, what I had set up was I set up sort of like a, heuristics, like here's some cut and paste ones for if you get this, you can respond with this. But here's like the heuristics for dealing with some of these other ones. But I still can't define it all together. I mean, you have to have someone that has some communication skills. Some
judgment.
Yeah.
So one you might also like, John. Have you read Work the System?
No.
Check that one out. It's more about this guy. The guy who wrote it, Sam Carpenter. He basically built a call center. He built a call center that ended up becoming like one of the top call centers in the world.
Oh, really?
And it's like, he's very much. He's got systems for everything, and then he's got systems for changing the systems. Like, he takes it to this meta level. And I heard an interview with him one time, and it sounded pretty good. So I think that would be worth checking out.
Oh, that's interesting. When I searched on that book, the Work the System, that Scaling Up book showed up.
Yeah, I know. I saw that too. Yeah.
So I'm going to add that Scaling Up book. That guy seemed pretty smart.
He did.
He was condensing a lot of information into a short thing, and he was a little bit obsessed with Steve Jobs, but
oh my gosh, everybody, I would love to get through one marketing presentation without Steve Jobs coming up. Yeah. Please, just one.
But he did seem to have some good ideas. The 25 influencers that could, I mean, that leverage, that amount of leverage makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
You know, at some point, like I always keep on thinking, like, what is the one thing that you could do that is going to make everything else irrelevant? Like, you know, what is that one leverage point? Like in my career, it was like all the other stuff I was trying to do, all the like working hard at all this stuff and increasing my skills. Pluralsight was like that leverage point for me. It was like there's one here in Simple Programmer. We just don't know it yet. There's going to be one thing that we're going to do that is going to generate like $500,000 a year of revenue, and then we're like, why were we like busting our heads over making an extra 10 or 20K? It doesn't.
Yeah.
But we don't know what that thing is yet.
Yeah, I think, and that the genius of the 25, like building those relationships of like maybe the top 25 people, is you're going to discover what that thing is. Like if we sit and try to think of it, we'll never find it. But if you put yourself into those kind of circles, something's gonna happen. You know, like for me, I mean, you know, it was this one of the bigger ones lately was the stupid King Sumo, you know, my giveaway. Yeah. You know, like that was just I mean that overall, that's probably made me, like, between the sales that I've gotten off of the subscribers and then also the affiliate money that I've made, and it's probably like gonna be 6 figures, honestly, from that one thing. So, but yeah, it's impossible to just sit there and figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, but it helps to realize that there are those things so that you can sort of
you got to look for them. Yep. Yeah, that was. I realized when I saw the Noah's email with the King Sumo, like I recognized that opportunity.
Yep.
So you have to have your antenna up.
Yeah, it helps you to get out of the mindset of. I heard someone say it's not quite the same thing. They said like picking up nickels behind a
stepping over dollars. Behind a steamroller
or something like that. Now it doesn't make sense. It made sense then, but essentially it's like it's like you gotta, like, it's like I throw away all pennies, nickels, and dimes because it's not even worth picking them up. Just like move on, like do something that's more productive. And so like if you're in that mindset, then you realize that if there's opportunities, if you're in the Chuck E. Cheese ticket grab, you got to grab the hundreds. Don't even pick up the individual tickets. Like, just ignore those completely and just go for the hundreds. Don't, if you waste your time to pick up all the ones, that's just a waste.
Right. Yeah, there's like a lot of people get focused on linear growth of like, oh, I got to get that 2% raise, Yeah. But there's all like, and that's not bad. But then you want to be careful that you don't miss the exponential opportunities. So.
Yep. So let's see what else is going on this week. Oh, I am pissing off the world on the internet on YouTube. With Rodrigo's up with his clever titling as the controversial published YouTube video is How to Get Girls as a Programmer, Part 2, Smirking.
So wait, is Part 2? So was there a Part 1?
Well, there was sort of a Part 1. Like there was like the very first of delving into this content, which was the whole like eye contact, like not breaking the eye contact. That was kind of like the testing the waters, and there was a good response from that. So I decided to follow up and do so in this second exercise that builds on that exercise. Okay. So that's what that video. But this video is also an introduction to going that direction, talking about why this is important, why that this obvious audience that we're serving is a lot of developers and programmers, and they don't have necessarily these skills. And this is probably like if you were to honestly, if you said, okay, of the audience of Simple Programmer, like just totally honest, and you said, what if we could anonymously say what is the most important thing that you're struggling with in your life, right? I think
Yeah.
it's probably going to be girls. That's going to be like for our audience. I mean, it's totally right. Think about it. Like it's like every single so to not address that at all is a mistake. But I kind of communicated in the video that the underlying thing is not that. Like what we're going to address, we're not going to like be like, oh, here's how you can pick up girls in a bar. Instead, it's like you need to build self-confidence. You need to be able to build the ability to be yourself, to be comfortable with yourself, to be able to build the kind of skills and qualities within yourself that are going to make you attractive and make you confident and make you able to see a goal and to drive for that goal and get it. And as a byproduct, you're going to be able to have these other things that you want. So. Right. So even though it sounds like when you know people are complaining because they haven't actually watched the video, but even though it sounds kind of sleazy, and we're going to hook people with that, we're not like, you know, it's not like stepping down to be like, here's how to be a pickup artist and pick up girls, and you know, and you know, we're just, it's the honest approach, which is like, look, in order to be able to have successful relationships, in order to attract women or anyone in your life, it's not about like being manipulative or sneaky or clever. It's about actually genuinely being the kind of person that women want or that people want to be around, and defining that from, you know, building that within a person's character, but also defining it from the psychological aspect of understanding what is that and how does that work. So that's where, you know, at least that's the direction that I'm trying to take this in order to address that market. And so far, the response has been give me more of this. So we'll see. But but as you can imagine, plenty of people are pissed off as well. So
yeah, I'll be very curious to see how this plays out. So the people that are mad, you think most of them haven't watched it?
I would think so. I mean, there's also people that are just like going to be mad, and they're just like naive. I mean, I said it in the video multiple times. I was like, if this may not be for you, so you're going to unsubscribe, that's fine. Like, it's not for you.
Yeah.
So, and also I said, if you don't, you know, if you're already, you know, like you know, if you're already the shiznick and, you know, you're just like, you got, you know, girls hanging all over you and you just walk into a club and, you know, then just skip these videos or laugh, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I think there's going to be that polarization, but that is already in the audience because of the content, right? Because people who want to improve are going to understand that they're going to have to dig deep to get there, and it's a somewhat painful process. Whereas people who like are looking for surface level tricks, they probably have left the channel already. So
yeah. Yep, because you don't really cater to that in any other area.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Well, this will be fun. I'm imagining some fun emails coming out of this too.
Yeah, and it's also the place where no one else is willing to go, right? So this is why we have to go there. I feel like we won't really be serving the audience well if we're not addressing some of their top needs, but doing it in a tasteful, like in the right way that makes sense, that isn't just like trying to make a money grab or play or, you know, something scammy like that. So
yeah. Well, I was looking at so for the website visitors, by far our biggest demographic is the 25 to 35 age range. So it's like 45% of our visitors are in that bracket. So, yep, you're talking to them. Well, and then we have another 20% or so, 21% that are in the 18 to 25 range. So,
and you're looking at
60% of the audience is squarely in that age range.
And you're looking at Google Analytics, correct?
Yeah, and YouTube is even younger. Yeah,
YouTube is skewed to the other way, to the younger. So that's where I think that's where this is really going to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see. I mean, maybe it doesn't, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
nice.
Yeah, it'll be fun though. It'll be, and it could be good. I mean, the controversy bit of it could generate some press, which would be good.
Yep. So. There's probably some tie-ins, some Big Bang Theory. I haven't watched that show.
I hate that show.
But I bet you that a lot of our audience does, and there's probably some good.
For all of the geeky cultural things that I really do enjoy, I cannot stand that show.
Why not? Why is it?
Something about the characters just pisses me off. Like, it's the equivalent of mass media making fun of geeks and nerds and whatever stereotype you want to mention for, you know, people that are socially dysfunctional but incredibly intelligent. And
well,
there's this whole cult following around it with you know, software developers and techies and whatnot, and I can't stand the show. It honestly feels like a personal attack on me and my kids.
Well, this is great. We don't have to. People don't have to like it, right?
Right. They just have
as long as they have some emotional response to it, either way.
Yeah.
You know, that's.
I tried to watch the first season. We got it from our library, and we got about, I don't know, 6 or 7 episodes through it, and I'm just like, I'm done. I don't ever want to watch this again. This is terrible.
I'm sort of in agreement with you, Derek, on this one, but for a slightly different reason. So what I think that the show does, which is destructive, is that it glamorizes, to some degree, being a dork. And what I mean by that is, like, it sort of says that if you're intelligent, right, and you are into technology, or you're smart in some way, that you must act like a social retard. And that's not true, right? So it kind of like says it's okay because to act like to act this way, because you'll still like get this really hot chick that lives next door.
Which is another problem I have with the show.
And you'll still like, you know, be awesome and cool, but where in reality, if you don't like learn to actually like function more like a normal human being, you will just be rejected and rejected and rejected. And so it kind of, and so that's why a lot of the tech community is gravitating toward it, because it's
telling them they're okay.
Exactly.
And they'll still be successful.
And that's not really the message. The message, the true message, like that, at least that I would like to convey with Simple Programmer is, you're okay. Deep down inside, you're okay. What you're doing and how you're acting and interacting with people, not so good for what you want in life. Not okay. So whereas their message is, no, that's cool too. Yeah, you fine. There'll be some hot chick next door that just like in the show. Sorry. So that's why I don't like it, but I think it's funny.
I've never seen it, so I was trying to watch it one time, but it was not available on Netflix or Amazon Prime. Which, like, how many freaking streaming video services do I have to buy before I can watch shows without having to buy the? Oh, the other thing that really ticks me off about that is when they force you to buy it and they won't let you rent it. Like,
oh yeah.
There's like, I have like probably 10 movies that I want to watch that I'm like, I don't want to spend $15 to $17 on this stupid thing, the stupid, you know, the X-Men movie. I'm not going to watch it again. Why won't you let me rent it?
So that's the whole. There's this like window, because they're smart, because they know that you're like, oh, remember that movie that oh yeah, we're gonna watch it in the theater, and I wonder what. Let's look it up. Oh, it's probably on Prime now, like, or it's on, you know, on iTunes or whatever, and you type it in, and then you're like, $17. But 2 weeks ago it was for rent. Now it's for buy only. And you're like, I really wanted to watch that. So.
Well, what's frustrating is that they basically killed Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Right, and then they've basically replaced it with something that doesn't cost them any money to distribute.
Yeah. So
you can no longer rent it. Now they force you to buy something that has no actual cost associated with it for them, and that's just it's frustrating.
Those people selling digital products.
I know. Well,
overhead.
Yeah, I know.
All profit.
I'm very conflicted about it. I actually think about this. What is it about this business model that bothers me so much? because it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me to spend. I think it's partly that it's entertainment.
Yeah.
I haven't quite put my finger on it yet, but yeah.
You can always fire up your VPN.
I guess that's what it. Yeah. I guess that's what it is. It's like it's entertainment, so I get 2 hours worth of value out of it. Versus if I'm buying $1,000, like I'll spend $1,000 on a copywriting course.
Yeah.
Because I know that that's going to have value beyond the 2 hours that I spend on it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's why you shouldn't watch TV and movies anyway. So.
Yeah, I know, but there's like some that I really. I'm actually watching Die Hard right now.
I love Die Hard.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Good movie. Yeah. I'm watching it in 15-minute increments. After I put my kids to bed, my wife goes in to say goodnight to them, and I watch like 15 minutes of it while she's in there, and then.
Yeah, we watch movies after the kids are in bed. TV shows or movies, depending on what we have available. And in the last couple of weeks, we've watched The Devil Wears Prada, The Martian.
Oh, I want to see that.
Last night we just finished Interstellar, which it's an odd trio of movies to put together because Anne Hathaway is in The Devil Wears Prada, Matt Damon is The Martian, and then they are both in Interstellar.
That's awesome.
Great.
The Martian, your sequencing is great to watch The Martian and then Interstellar.
Yes,
then you're like
Matt Damon in both of them. It was perfect.
I watched Interstellar the first time, and then I immediately tweeted, Matt Damon is such an asshole.
I really want to see how they did the Martian. It sounds like the movie was pretty good.
It was really good. I haven't read the book. I didn't.
Okay.
I wanted to read it. I just never got around to it. But the movie was really good.
Well,
Interstellar though, was mind-blowingly good.
Yeah,
it was. We watched it that sounds kind of interesting. Let's see what it's like. And it was like riveting from the first scene to the end. It was an incredible story that they told in a very unique way. I mean, I was expecting more like the Batman Begins series because it's Christopher Nolan, and it's not that kind of just blunt, straight in your face. It's very subtle. It moves in very interesting timing and directions, and it's more like 2001: A Space Odyssey than Batman Begins.
I will have to watch that. I'm going to add that to my list.
Which is free on Amazon Prime.
It's free on Amazon Prime?
Yeah, Interstellar is. The Martian is still for rent, and it was well worth the money as well.
All right, yeah, because I was curious to see how that would work because the book was so dependent on him writing. It was a diary, it was his diary. So they did video diary.
Yeah.
That makes a ton of sense.
And it worked really well in the movie. It made the movie. It made everything. It gave you a real personal connection to the Mark Watney character because you're constantly seeing him recording the stuff and hearing him talking and I mean, it's his video diary in that movie is the Wilson equivalent in that Tom Hanks movie where he gets stranded on that island.
Yeah, the Mark Watney character in the book was, oh my goodness, hysterical. That's one of my favorite characters that I've ever of any book ever. It was just he was really, really good.
Yeah, and Matt Damon doesn't quite pull off the hysterical funny, but he's still a dang funny character.
Yeah.
It's the situational humor.
Mm-hmm.
The absurdity of it all and the things he says to spite the absurdity, basically.
It'll be interesting to see if the author, what's his name again? I can't remember. But
Andy Weir.
If he can follow up with another book, because I read the afterword and he's basically spent his entire life preparing to write that book.
Yeah.
Because he's seriously he actually wrote software to calculate in the where they calculate the trajectory of the return trajectory of the ship and everything. He wrote software to actually calculate all that stuff.
Wow.
He's such a space geek and he's been really focused on Mars exploration he's been researching this stuff for 30, 40 years.
There's a scene in the movie where Mark Watney is changing some code inside of one of the systems.
Yep.
And in the movie, for like the first time ever in the history of Hollywood, they actually got a real hex editor and showed him making actual changes to command structures using a hex editor.
Well, they
You froze again, Josh.
It's like Josh is on Mars.
It is.
Like,
so while you guys were talking earlier, I figured out the problem with my Watch Me Code crashing. I had there's a timeout setting for RabbitMQ for when you're making a connection, and I thought I had the connection set for the connection timeout set to 30 seconds, but I had it set to 30 milliseconds. So it was never connecting to RabbitMQ and crashing constantly.
Josh, come in, Josh.
Wrong mic, Josh. Can't hear you. Are you there? Hello, Josh.
How's that?
Nope.
Is that working?
Nope.
Try here. I've got an idea. I'll put some hex on some paper.
And we'll spin a camera around and point to. Oh, the joys of podcasting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got Watch Me Code up and running. It's been down for at least a day, and nobody's been telling me.
We can't hear you, and you're frozen in time.
Josh. I guess Josh is dead. Okay. He's gone. Sorry, Josh. This is how you found out that we kicked you out of the group.
He says, I don't know what to do.
I don't know either.
What? Yeah. Okay. He's redoing. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hey, there you are.
Chrome keeps crashing. Derek, I'm wondering if there might be just something really screwy going on with Hangouts.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the best app in the world.
I think you froze again, Josh. Yep,
Wow.
Josh froze again.
Yeah.
All right, maybe we should just call it.
Yeah, I think probably.
All right.
Oh, we'll give him one more chance.
Say goodbye, Josh. We're hanging up because this is obnoxious.
All right.
There's 3 Joshes.
Yeah, there are 3. There's 3 of me. That's too much even for me. So yeah, if I get kicked out again, I just won't try to rejoin.
Okay, and then we'll just kill it then. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know where we were, but
I don't remember talking about movies.
Yeah.
I got Watch Me Code fixed while you guys were talking earlier.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Oh my gosh, my stupid website. So I migrated to DigitalOcean.
Yep.
My VA. Well, my Linode came under attack shortly before the trip to San Diego, and so my VA was like, "Well, yeah, they've been under attack since Christmas, and you really should move to DigitalOcean anyway," which I'd wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, "Yeah, let's go ahead and do it." So he went ahead and moved me over, and it didn't actually take him all that long. But then, ever since then, I've been having the error database connection problem that we were having with the Entreprogrammers
site. You got to get off
site.
of Apache.
We're using Nginx.
Really?
Yeah. He has done so much troubleshooting on this. I think he's done a really good job troubleshooting it. But there are if you look, there are angry people on the DigitalOcean site wanting to demanding answers. And I think what's happening is that DigitalOcean has been under denial of service attacks for a long time as well, and so he's been seeing traffic coming in to the XML RCP endpoint. So we put some stuff in place to fix that. He was getting a bunch of traffic on the feed URL. So he's put in a bunch of stuff to try to fix it, and it basically now it's going down 3 or 4 times a day, and I have to log in. What I have to do is SSH in and just restart MySQL, So I might just for now I might just have him put in a cron job that like restarts MySQL every 5 minutes or something.
Try. Okay.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say try restarting PHP dash.
FPM.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could do that, but it's definitely a SQL. It's definitely the database connection. I mean, the error.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're getting a 502 error. I'm getting a 500 error, and it's that error establishing a database connection.
Because I think I fixed a simple programmer one by making it recycle that thread on a hang.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. So I've been getting notifications like several times a day that all my sites are down, and it's really getting frustrating. And he's done a lot of good troubleshooting. He's got all kinds of logging set up, and we just cannot pinpoint it. And people on the I've seen like a couple threads with just people raging about the same problem, and nobody knows what's causing it.
Is it possible that it's the setup or install? Like, I mean, you're not doing anything special. Like it's just standard WordPress.
He used the easy install thing to get Nginx set up, and I mean, I guess one option would be to just go and build another box and just pull everything over and see if that fixes it. Might have to do that because it's just not. It's a pain because I've got like 5 or 6 websites, so I'll have to go in and like screw around with the DNS and everything if we move them all. But I don't know what else to do at this point. So I'll probably give him like another. Well, I have joshuaearl.com, sublimetexttips.com, Desk Hacks, and then a couple other smaller sites are on there too. So they all go down. When it happens to one, they all go down. For a while, he was thinking that the problem was that he'd set up the rules like to block the attacks on my website but not the others. But he set it up for all of them, and it's still happening. So yeah, I really don't know. But when you rebuilt it, you rebuilt the Entreprogrammers site, and whatever you did, we must have gotten lucky. Because you use the same thing, right? The easy Nginx or whatever it is, that installer. We didn't use the problem is we thought the problem was the WordPress image that Dropbox or that DigitalOcean uses with Apache, and it comes pre-installed with WordPress. But we didn't use that. We just used a straight up Ubuntu clean install. So I don't know. I don't know what to do about it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, one thing you could do, like to test it, is you could have them spin up a new DigitalOcean server and just do a WordPress install. Just copy the WordPress, just install MySQL, Nginx, copy the WordPress folder, and then dump the database and pull in the database, and then just see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Of course, it won't be exposed to the external world. Or I guess it would be. Yeah. So yeah, you could do that, and then just have it.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I might want to do is just take one site, have him move one site over.
That's what I'm saying. Is just do one site, see what happens, and then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been driving me crazy. So I don't know.
Yeah, just take whatever the most important site is and move it somewhere and forget to turn it on and change the DNS. That way it doesn't work anymore.
Well, it will be impervious to attacks. So
exactly.
That will be a win.
Yeah.
Yep.
One of the sites I used to blog on, Elegant Code, the guy that was running the site, I guess, what did he do? He did a new site. He did like a test site. Oh, his domain, like he was using a hosting provider, and then he basically like transferred to a new hosting provider, and he had the test site running on there, and then he deleted the old account, and
oh no,
had all the like original posts on there, so they were just gone.
Oh,
ouch.
He didn't switch the DNS over, and then when it expired, then it killed everything, because the DNS hadn't switched over, so he was seeing all the posts, And so he had to go back to the Wayback Machine and try to find the post.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful.
Yep.
Yeah, I deleted my Linode account this week, and I was like, oh, that was easy and final, and I hope that there was nothing on there that I want back.
You guys remember when I deleted my production Signal Leaf database?
Yeah.
Fortunately, I had a backup copy that I had just made.
Oh,
but
gosh.
Geez, that was...
Or unfortunately, right?
Well, yeah, or unfortunately. But that was the moment when I legitimately thought that I was going to have to just email everybody and say, sorry, I deleted all your data. The service is shutting down. I can't recover this.
Yeah.
But I found that I realized a moment later that I had that test copy that I had made.
Back in the day when you used to store all your stuff on your computer before there was the cloud and stuff, and it was like, switching to a new computer was a big deal, because what if you forgot something or some file or some poem you wrote or something?
There's this big box sitting behind me, this black box over there that my finger is in front of. That is a 15-year-old computer that is still here for that reason.
That's hilarious. So what I would do is I would virtualize the old PC.
Yeah.
So I'd use VMware, and I'd turn it into a VM, and then I would check it and make sure, and so I can just fire that up. Right, it's a VM.
Yep.
And so I'd move to my new box, and I'd have my VM of my old box, so with the file system intact and everything. So just in case.
Yeah.
And then I would do that again.
VMs inside of VMs.
I had old box Inception.
I need this file from 5 computers ago. Do I have enough memory to run that many VMs Inceptions inside of each other?
Exactly. So yeah, now I don't do that anymore. Now it's like old computer,
garbage.
Dropbox account is synced. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Don't need anything else for there.
Yeah, with my Mac and Time Machine. I mean, this is the 3rd Mac physical machine that I've had, and I've never lost a single file.
Yeah.
It's just Time Machine, restore onto the new computer, done.
Yep.
Okay, I'm hungry. I'm gonna go eat lunch.
All right. Should we wrap up our thoughts for the day?
Yeah, I think my thought for the week will be the old programming dictum about not building stuff before you need it. Mm-hmm. So this week I built that. Well, last week I built out a bunch of new workflows in Drip that were all shiny and fancy, and I was really happy with them. And I didn't understand. There were some fundamental things about workflows that I didn't understand, so they're like completely invalid. And so I've got to basically tear them all down and start over again.
Oops.
And this time I'm going to only build what we actually have support for right now. Because what I did was I added in like slots for these campaigns that I want to build, so I could see how everything was going to fit together. But I just had stubbed in the campaigns, and they didn't have any emails in them. Well, like they completely screwed up the workflow. Mm-hmm. So it'll be going to start over, and it'll be really simple. And I'm only going to add on to it when I actually need it.
My thought, I will go with run with the motivation when you have it. Because I've been motivated this week to work on Watch Me Code, and it's been really nice to get a lot of good features done. Sometimes, the old saying, good thing I'm motivated from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. Sometimes you just need to sit down and do the work, even if you're not motivated. But when you are motivated, certainly run with it.
Let's see. I think mine would be don't apologize. What I mean by that is in 2 ways. Like, don't do things unintentionally. Be intentional in what you do, so that you're not apologizing for your actions, because you're doing what you intended to do, and then to own up to what you did. Mm-hmm. Because it's kind of weird. Apologizing is not owning up to what you did. Like, it's like if you intentionally did a thing, then there's no apology needed. This is what it is. And I think I realize that I tend to do that sometimes, and a lot of people live in this shell of being afraid to be what they are or who they are because they're constantly evaluating all their actions in the context of other people. And that's not, people will respect you more. They may not like you all the time, and you're not going to get everyone to like you, but people will respect you more if you do what is consistent with your own values and beliefs rather than adapting them to what you think your audience or the context of the situation is. And that a lot of times is going to require you to not apologize. So
I can see that being dangerous in some circumstances, but I agree with the general idea.
John's going to be rewriting the How to Market Yourself course to encourage people to wear flip-flops and Bermuda shorts to interviews.
The entire course is just going to be Dr. Phil yelling at you.
That's funny though, because but that I don't actually believe that that's a contradiction, because if you are you have to do what makes sense for you, right? It's like if you want something, you got to play by. Yeah. You have to know when you're playing in someone else's sandpit and when they're playing in your sandpit.
Right.
And it's all about what you want. I mean, if you want a job and you can't be like, well, yeah, I'm just gonna go in with my nose ring and tattooed face. Sorry, tattooed your face. That I don't know how I can fix that, but
a lot of makeup. Why are you wearing 3 inches thick mascara? Well,
John, that might be an e-commerce angle for Simple Programmer right there.
But yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Alrighty.
Are we all here next week? Do we know?
We don't know about Chuck, but I'm here.
I don't know about Chuck, but I'll be here.
Okay, I should be here.
Cool.
All right. See you guys next time.
See ya.